There we go. Okay, so now it's time for our second team. We're going to do the Los Angeles Clippers. They're 37 and 18. They're third in the West. Here's a little bit of their schedule for context. Is they beat the Pistons on Sunday. They're playing the Pacers right now. They have the Pistons again on Wednesday, and they're at the 76ers. They're on the road. Their big leaders, of course, are Kyrie. No, excuse me, not Kyrie. Kawhi Leonard is 26 points, leading them, and Paul George is second place. Uh, Ivac Zubac is a good rebounder for them and does some good work. But Paul George contributes on the assist side more than the scoring side. So, Connor, how are you feeling about the Clippers?
I think that the Clippers have a really high ceiling, and I fool me once, shame on me. Could I get fooled twice? Yeah, maybe, just for rhyming purposes. But no, I think that the Clippers have a lot of good things to offer. Um, Kawhi George. What's interesting about the Clippers is that it's sort of a different makeup than a lot of the other big Western Conference teams, right? Um, you look at the Jazz with Rudy Gobert and why am I forgetting the name of that guard who plays for the Jazz? Um, but you've got the Jazz, and then you've got what should have been the Nuggets with Jokic and Murray, right? And then the Lakers with big man guard. You got a lot of big man guard, big man guard, big man guard. And what the Clippers were trying to do is say, no, we're gonna do it on the wing. We're gonna have guys that are big, can be some matchup problems, and be able to do that on the wing. I think that one of the issues is still health. My understanding is that Kawhi is not playing tonight. It's the second half of a back to back, and that's just kind of not something that he's been doing really all season, playing in the second half of those back to backs. I think Patrick Beverly is out in terms of playing defense. He is he's kind of their tone setter, if you will. And I think that you're going to lose some team cohesion and some team chemistry there. Now, the interesting thing, Rutledge, is Boogie Cousins, DeMarcus Cousins, and Rajon Rondo were both signed to 10-day contracts. It's not looking like, oh man,
Oh,
Jokic is he
just
okay? It's only a second. I thought that was his third.
getting aggressive.
That he is. So, I think in terms of players, in my opinion, the big question is going to be Serge Ibaka, right? Because you're going to have somebody to in a deep playoff run to cover a Rudy Gobert and to cover an Anthony Davis. You don't have that skilled a player, so you need a couple bodies to throw at him. So when Zubats is at the bench, what are you going to do? I think Serge Ibaka is actually going to be a real key contributor to the Clippers, assuming he gets healthy.
Yeah, this is. I think we all forgot because the Clippers. I feel like last year the expectation with the Clippers and Kawhi coming over was, you know, finals if not ring or bust. And because they had that big fall apart in the playoffs in the bubble, we all, at least myself, I know you wrote them off like, well, they're still okay, but they're nothing special. However, they've shown that they're doing it different. And they're not doing what Houston tried to do last year, which is try to make it work with some small ball or try not to do the big man thing. They're actually doing it. But for some
No, that
reason, I still have a question mark about them. They're in third place and they've been kind of the silent, in my opinion, the silent killer of being a good Western team. Of course, the storylines have been injuries in the West, the Jazz and their domination. We always pay attention to the Lakers, especially with them repeating as champions. Go Dame, go.
oh,
Ah,
Dame time issues.
Dame.
The other thing, you know, you, what's the interesting thing about, and you got a real big comeback here.
We are
The
trying.
interesting thing about what we're seeing with the Clippers is, you've always, Paul George even talked about mentally during the bubble having some real issues. Um, and it's kind of been who's Batman, who's Robin, right? I think that was an issue. One of many issues that the Clippers had last year in the bubble. So I think you have that issue to work through. Uh, Paul George has averaged 30 points a game over the past week. He is the reigning Western Conference Player of the Week. So for whatever you take from there, and I think I think chemistry is going to be big. I really love the move of the Clippers trading Lou Williams. I think that was a big time getting him out of that locker room. I think is a big time positive. And hopefully, I kind of hope they keep Rondo around, just for the sake of us hearing many many takes about playoff Rondo.
Yeah, playoff Rondo has always been. I mean, playoff Rondo contributed for the Lakers. Remember when playoff Rondo was in Boston? It's a down the stretch thing for me with the Clippers. Where are they going? They have on their schedule, what is it like for late April to May? They play the Suns on the 28th. They play the Lakers on the 6th. Are they building forward momentum into the playoffs, and are they the hot team that everyone needs to watch out for? Or are they the team that once they get into the playoffs that we see them get knocked out and we go, okay, but Kawhi Leonard is still doing big things. We remember he brought Canada, and I thank him for this. He brought Canada its first professional sports championship outside of hockey for the first time ever, because the Vancouver Whitecaps just can't get it done up there. But it's I don't know, Connor. They're a third place seed team, and I don't see them getting any farther than maybe the conference semis. How far do
Wow.
you
So
have them going?
I could definitely see the Clippers making it to the conference finals. I don't know if they've got the juice to get it all the way, to the finals. I'm just throwing the ball away now. I have.
Oh, look at that hang time. He
Did you hear
ripped that.
did you hear the stadium announcer just yell Simons?
I did. That was great.
I don't get that.
Man, he ripped that all over your city.
That he did. But we got a little Michael Porter Jr. three that is not going to go down.
I feel like that Simons
Uh,
was a game glitch because why would it do that for an away player?
I mean, there's a jeweler I know in Orlando called Simon's Jeweler.
Well, I mean, his name is Simons.
Okay, no doubt, no doubt. But no, I
Real
think I
friends,
think the
real time.
Clippers. I think that the Clippers aren't as good as the Jazz, and you have just taken the lead on me.
There we go.
I think that the Clippers are not as good as the Jazz. I think that the
Agree.
Clippers are better than the Nuggets now as it stands. I
Agree.
think that the Clippers are better than the Lakers.
Split. And I'll keep going, but I'll argue my Lakers point as we continue this third quarter.
I think the Clippers are definitely better than the Blazers.
I say the Clippers. I agree with you on that. The Clippers are a more complete team, and um, especially with Portland in my defense that I will talk about with Portland, they are definitely a more complete team. The Lakers, it's gonna be do LeBron and AD come back like two dudes that are just I don't know, like the valedictorian and salutatorian on the same group project, and it's due tomorrow, and they're geniuses, and they're just nailing out, and they get 100 on this high school project. That's how I feel about with the Lakers getting healthy, especially in this part of the season. Um, so I don't know. The Clippers will go higher seeded into the playoffs than the Lakers because we only have but so much time left. But I don't see the Clippers and the Lakers. I don't see them being the same competitive level in the playoffs. So what would you give that Clippers Lakers series then?
In terms of like how far it would go,
Yeah, like who wins it
I
and how
think
many?
I think it'd be a real barn burner of a series. Now, I think that, um, yeah, I think that that would definitely be a 7 game kind of knockdown, drag out kind of series. But I think the Clippers would win a long, hard fought series.
Okay, so you take Clippers in 7 over the Lakers.
Yep.
I take Lakers in 7, but I agree with you it'd be a 7-game series.
And you have come all the way back here in this third
Wow.
quarter.
I was down by 12 points. He almost went on a 10-point run at the start of the game, and now I've come back 53 to 49. Friend Stream Sports, Tuesday, 8 o'clock, live on Twitch. We have some viewers out there. Connor and I say hi. Drop a notification in the chat. Follow us on YouTube. As we're playing, we are deep into our basketball takes and still our first year of Friend Stream Sports. How fast the time goes, Connor.
I was thinking about it. We're getting very close to our first ever meeting at Gators Dockside.
That
Shout
is
out to Gators, be our sponsor.
Shout out to Gators. Let us have live night where turn over to Michael Porter Jr. Let us
Turnover
have
chain,
live night
Miami
where
Hurricane
we
turnover chain.
turnover chain where we play video games live in a bar and just do the show, and then there's some parent there that doesn't understand why two guys are playing PlayStation over the loudspeakers. I think it'd be
Yeah,
great.
heck yeah. But I think all of our fan would definitely be there and would just have a blast.
My wife would be there, but I'd have to buy her stuff.
Or we write that into the contract. That's how we get a producer. Is everybody who's associated with the show gets stuff.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say feed Rutledge's wife. That's the contract.
Well, I mean, kind of. Yet again, just Anna Marie's our producer.
No, I still you keep pushing that every other week. She's not. She came on and talk about snacks, and that's all the take she's got.
I mean, I'd like to hear Anna Marie's chicken nugget power ranking.
Okay, that's a solid Anna Marie segment. Is what was your chicken nugget powers? Like who has the best nugs, who has the best sauces, who's overrated, who's underrated.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, like she would do that.